I have great memories coming here. I love it. I think the golf is very exciting. Playing St. Andrew was quite an honor. I mean, for us, my 21st birthday was on Sunday, so it was very special and everything. But my grandpa, he was 89. He's 94. He's 93 now. But he came and he stood on his balcony at the hotel every day and watched me come down 1 and 2 and 17 and 18, and he watched, and those are memories that I take with me.
It's changeable conditions in Scotland, as I'm sure you remember. Will you have pink waterproofs and a pink umbrella?
I don't have a pink umbrella. I do have pink waterproofs, but I also have black ones as well. It just kind of depends on what's going on out there. And also, you know, if it's raining a lot, you're going to have to go through multiple rain gears.
What difference has winning your first major made?
Huge. It's been a big difference to me. And just, you know, I've always been very confident, but at the same time, you know, knowing and, you know, believing and knowing and you can win a major is different than actually doing it. And now I have that confidence. I know what it takes to win a major, and I just have to take that into every week.
And the last one, who will be the main competition at Carnoustie?
Mother Nature. You know, you can't predict anybody, I think, in the British Open. It's too difficult because, you know, the weather has so much to do with it. Depends on what draw you have and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, you can't get away from the top 10 players of the world. Those are people that are always going to be right up in contention. But Mother Nature is going to be the main competitor.
What do you think of Scotland?
Like I said, I think it's a great country. The people here are wonderful. They're so welcoming. They love watching golf. They love women's golf, and it's just, you come and you feel like you're at home because they just, you know, want to watch you hit such great shots, and I appreciate that.
Is there anything that you particularly like, dislike, look forward to when you're coming to Scotland?
Just Scotland and
just Scotland in general.
I like trying new foods. I like trying new things. I can't drive yet over here. I always practice in like a parking lot. I wish I could, because that would be a lot of fun, but it'd be very dangerous. So I probably shouldn't do it. But we practice only in, you know, parking lots, not on the main road.
And the food brings me on to the next one. Have you tried haggis?
I have not tried haggis yet. My coach and my caddy, they eat it because they're British, but at the same time, I'll try it. I might not love it, but I will give it a chance.
Do you have any Scottish ancestors or relatives at all?
I do, actually. My aunt is Scottish. She married my uncle, my mom's brother, so I do have some Scottish ties.
Will she be here watching?
No, she won't be.
So you've just had your first practice round on Carnoustie. Is that the first time you've ever played it?
Yes, this was the first time I've ever played it.
And what did you make of it?
I thought it was great. I thought the golf course is what you see is what you get. There's not a lot of tricked up bounces or anything like that. I'm really surprised with how narrow and long the greens are. I didn't realize that they were that narrow. You know, the bunkers, they come into play, but you got to be a straight driver of the ball, and which is one of my strengths, so I'm looking forward to that. But, you know, it wasn't too windy today. I know it can blow really hard here, so hopefully I can get a couple practice rounds with some heavy wind as well.
It's hosted the major a couple of times, the men's open. What was it? What you expected today?
Yes and no. Like I said, I never realized the size of the greens. The fairways are pretty generous. But, you know, even if you are in the rough, you know, you can still, you know, move the ball, advance the ball, things like that. And the bunkers aren't, you know, horribly dangerous if you're in them. But there's certain ones that you cannot go in, you know. But you have to take your medicine a lot here. Sometimes long is much better, you know, than short.
What's going to be the biggest challenge this week around the whole course?
I think it's going to be, I mean, looking from the past, you know, men's opens here, you know, it all comes down to making putts, and there's not a lot of breaks on these greens, and I think that, you know, as, you know, players, professional players, you always play golf courses with big breaks and things like that, and here they're very flat, they're very, you know, just a little bit of break, and I think that's going to be key, is who's going to kind of trust that and go with it just because of, you know, playing in the practice rounds and getting used to that. But staying, you know, hitting fairways and greens, that's all you can do, especially when the weather gets tough.
Is links golf something that you enjoy doing?
Definitely. I love links golf. I think it's a lot of fun. You know, you hit it and you go find it and you hit it again. You know, a lot of time in the States, you know, you have to hit it and, you know, you kind of dwell about it or whatnot, but here you can't. You just have to go with the flow about it, and we get to hit different shots. You know, I have a different setup in my bag. It's fun, and you know, you're kind of bummed when it's not windy and rainy, because that's what you prepare for, and you come over and you want to play in those tough conditions. I mean, not every day, but you know, it's nice in a competition.
How different is it playing over here compared to playing in the States? I mean, you don't get to travel outside the States a lot, so when you put everything together, your travel, your way out of your country and all of that put together, how different is it? It
is different, yes, but I welcome it. I enjoy it. I like traveling the world. Scotland is a great place, it's a home of golf. You know, I think if you don't appreciate your time here, then I don't think you're going to appreciate it out in the golf course, you know. And for me, like I said, I really like it. I embrace it. It's hard, it's different, you know, yes, the food is different, everything, but you know, that's life. That's life as a professional golfer, and like I said, I truly enjoy hitting different golf shots. I, you know, like meeting different people and, you know, taking all of it in.
What will you be doing over the next sort of week or so leading up to the start of the British Open to adapt your game to links golf and to get yourself back into that frame of mind from last year?
Well, I really won't be doing much because, you know, we're going to Evian. We have the tournament in France, and it's a completely different golf course. It's a whole other setup in my golf bag. You know, I put 4 wedges in. It's very short, hilly, so it's not really the best preparation for links golf. But you know, every once in a while on the driving range, you'll work on, you know, hitting cuts or draws, and you know, hitting low shots, knockdowns, things like that, punch shots, just to keep it fresh in your mind. But you have to hit your target. That's the biggest thing, and you know, who can make the most putts. So getting confidence with that.
You mentioned different clubs in your bag. What changes do you make going into particularly a links tournament?
For me, I always change, you know, my woods. I have a 7-wood and a 5-wood normally, and this week I put in a 3 rescue or a hybrid and a 4 rescue hybrid, just so I can keep the ball down lower. You know, you have to be able to control your ball flight over here with the wind, and especially if it's, you know, raining as well, you have to be able to control it much more. And I put a 4 and a 5 iron in, different actual clubs. You know, so I normally play a burner 5 iron. This week I'm going to put a 5 CB club in my bag, just to, like I said, keep the ball flight down.
The big difference here compared to playing in the States and most of the places you play is the weather. You get big weather in the States, as you did in the Women's Open there as well, but here it can change so quickly in a few short hours. Can you prepare for that, and how do you enjoy that, or is it something that you hate?
No, I think you can prepare for it easily. You know, nowadays the clothing companies like Adidas, you know, you have Clima Wind, you have Clima Cool, Clima Warm, you have all of these things that can help adapt, you know, to the weather, which is something that you should never have to think about. You know, that's the greatest thing about having good clothing. But you have to, you know, the bags are heavy. I feel bad for those caddies because there's a lot of towels or shirts, there's hand warmers sometimes, you know, it gets heavy. But you have to prepare for everything.
I've spoken to other female golfers on the LPGA Tour, and they dislike the weather over here. They don't like playing in the cold, and they don't like playing in the wet. It hasn't deterred you. You've been in the British Open for the last 6 seasons. Is it something that you kind of go, oh, I've got to go and play in that cold again, or is it just a kind of different challenge?
No, I've never, I think if you go into it negatively, you're going to come out negative. But I enjoy it. When I was younger, my dad and I would go and play when it was blowing 50 miles per hour and pouring down rain. I mean, we wouldn't practice for 7 hours, but we would be out there for, you know, an hour or two just having fun. And, you know, it's not often we get to come over here. I mean, only once a year, really, we get to play links golf. And I like it. It's a challenge. You know, it shows, you know, if you have, you know, all the shots in the bag, you have to have it out here, and I think that's what makes a good golfer.
You've obviously got a tournament before the Open, but have you got any expectations yet? Are you kind of looking towards the Open, and what can you expect from Carnoustie here?
I am really looking forward to it. I think this golf course is great. It sets up well for me. You know, it's just a matter of putting 4 good days of golf together. I think it's an honor for us to be here, and the fact that it's the first time is pretty neat. It's a big step for women's golf, and Ricoh's done a wonderful job with giving us the opportunity to come out and play the Ricoh Women's British Open here. So I do look forward to that. Hopefully on Sunday I'll be in contention on that back nine, and that's all I can ask for.
You mentioned Sunday. Ricoh have the Super Sunday, which is the charity event that they're using to promoting for Japan. What are your feelings about the sort of the way that the golf tournament is using the charity and the fact that you'll be able to help? I think it's
a great way to give back, and especially to help with everything that's going on in Japan. And being an ambassador for Ricoh, I couldn't be more proud to be with a company that wants to do that and is a part of it. And hopefully we can raise a lot.
You do a lot of charity work yourself outside of the tournaments. How important is it for professional sportsmen and women to use their status to help for funds like this?
I think it's huge. I mean, I think it's so important. I think every athlete, we have a voice, and I think that if you inspire one or two people out there out of all the millions of people, billions of people that are there, I mean, I think it makes a difference. And it's all about just telling people what it is, what's out there, and to help. And people go through everything. I mean, everybody has their own issues, but at the same time, we are one, and we have to help out people when they're in need.
Looking at the season as a whole, it's been a very consistent season for you. How do you feel your form is? Is this as good as it's been since the very early days?
Oh, no, not as good as it's been. No, it's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. I wish I could have played better so far. I wish I would have won. My goal is this weird to win multiple times, but I can't force it. I just have to let it happen. And it's been tough, our schedule, just kind of not having a lot of events and breaks and weeks off and majors after majors, things like that. But it is what it is, and you have to get out there and play as well as you can. And we don't have a lot of time to do that. And I'm a person that likes to play a lot in a row and get competitive and get my rhythm going, and we just haven't had that. So it's been a little bit different for me.
How much has that changed since you turned pro when you were, I think, about 18, you turned pro? How much has the sort of structure of the season changed even in that short time?
Just as in tournaments, or?
Tournaments and the number of tournaments and things like that.
Well, when I first came out, I was playing 32 weeks of the year, and now I think I'm only playing about 25, and just because there's just not that many events anymore, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I think that we're all trying to get more and more events back in our schedule, and a lot of it, yes, is the economy, but at the same time we have a lot of great sponsors like Ricoh who are keeping it going and having us at great venues, and hopefully in these next couple of years we can get some more events, because I like it. I don't want to see it go away.
You have experience of winning tournaments, you have experience of winning a major. How much does that help, not just going in to another major, but throughout the season when you have these breaks?
Winning always helps, but you learn the most from your losses. I believe that I look at obviously somebody played better than you, but why? What are they better at, and what can I get better at to win? Winning is confidence. Winning is believing in yourself and going out there and letting nothing get in your way. And it's one of the greatest feelings ever. But you do learn a lot from taking second, third, fourth. Those are the times where you think, I was right there. What can I get better at?
How do you feel the sort of recent form has been going into this major? Do you feel that you're ready that you're going into this major with a very, very good chance of winning it, or is there still a few things you need to tweak perhaps next week before this starts?
No, I feel great. Actually, I felt the best that I've felt all year. I've been hitting the ball wonderful. It's been beautiful out there. I've given myself so many chances. I just need to make some more putts. It's tough because I do hit a lot of greens. Giving myself 15, 20 footers, you're just not going to make all of those around, and I get a little bit down on myself because I think I have so many opportunities. I think that's going to be key for me, just to give myself as many chances as I can, and hopefully I can get that putter hot.